Welcome back to another V-Rising video. This one is going to be a pretty quick one. I just wanted to show the tool that I've been using recently for essentially theory crafting when I'm not in the game. Just a thing you can look at. I could stare at maps for hours. I don't know about you guys, but so this is a V-Rising interactive map. It has been recently, or it's in the process of being updated for Gloomrot. There's still a few, artifacts anyway, some antiquated information on here. But so I'm just going to show you how useful this thing is. So first of all, this is an extremely cluttered mess. So you can come over here and just hit hide all, and voila. Now we can see this map. We can zoom in extremely close, even closer than you can in game. And we can use that to essentially theory craft our way, through different points of the game. So for instance, we can come over here if we want to see where the caves are. So again, this one right here is not updated. You can see there's supposed to be one here. It's still showing the one that's over there, but that's okay. So if you want to see where some of the bosses are, or V-Blood bosses here. So V-Blood's right here. We have most of those. And again, this is being updated, currently being updated. So yeah, so this is really super useful. You see blood roses. Okay, so where do they spawn? So this is actually something that I think people take for granted. I've seen so many videos or whatever it may be. I've seen people all over the place. Essentially, whenever they're trying to find specific materials, they don't realize there are actually areas where some of these materials grow more often. So for instance, you can find blood rose mostly anywhere. Around the map. Let's just say you're in Dunley, right? And you need some blood rose for your blood rose ring. And yeah, you can find it mostly anywhere. You can go around most locations and find it, but there are actually certain locations where it's much more heavily concentrated or it's more likely to grow. Because the way the node system works is, there's multiple different areas where things can grow, whether it be a plant or a node, like a resource node. And it kind of just is randomized as to what can actually grow there. Like sometimes, for instance, sometimes a stone node will be a copper node, and sometimes a copper node will be a stone node. But that's really important to know where they can grow heavily, because if you're trying to look for something, let's say, let's say you started out, and you went over here, you got Alpha Wolf, you ran up here through logging camp, and you're like, man, I couldn't find a lot of blood roses. And let's say you came over here to Keeley, and now it's time for you to put a base down. And you realize that you just have not found a lot of blood roses. And you need to go get a horse really quick, but you need to put a base down. But at the same time, you're like, I really want to get enough blood roses by the time I put my base down, so I just don't even have to worry about it. Well, with a map like this, you can see that up here in this area, this is just east of Quincy, there's actually a pretty good chunk. I mean, it's very common to have blood roses blooming in this area. So you can just say like, okay, well, on my way up to, grab a horse up here, instead of going this way, I'm going to run this way, and I'm going to grab some blood roses on my way up to get a horse. So that's what the power of this kind of a map is. And I know it seems like, I don't know, maybe this is boring to some people, but to me, I love this stuff, just like looking and just poring over this. Here's another one that's extremely interesting. Iron ore, right? So we have this here. I wonder if it's going to show it. It doesn't show it. I'm willing to bet they still grow here. So iron ore obviously primarily sprouts here, the iron mine, and then also the iron cave up here. It's not even showing that at the moment. But actually, I'd be willing to bet this has not changed, because this is something that I have to like specifically code out of the game. But there's actually 3 iron nodes that used to grow right here in the old version. I'd be willing to bet they still grow here. I know that's really weird and random. It unfortunately doesn't show it on the map. Maybe it'll be updated soon. But that's something that you can take advantage of. I mean, I know that sounds really weird, and you're like, okay, well, I could just go to Iron Mine and grab iron. Well, sometimes if you're in a really hot server with a lot of PvP going on, and there's just people coming in and out of Iron Mine, maybe even Iron Cave, and there's just battles going everywhere, and you just are like, dude, I just want some iron. I don't want to die. Well, if you can figure out where all of these nodes are, like where around the areas where they kind of have a chance to grow, like look, there's 2 up here. And again, like I mentioned, they're not listed, but there should be about 3 that can grow here, maybe even 4 sometimes. You can just run up here with some worker blood if this base isn't claimed, grab some iron, and then jump down and do your thing. I mean, obviously that's not all the iron you're ever going to need, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, there's different types of things you can do to capitalize on the resources here. This is like, again, this is super nerdy, but I love this stuff. I absolutely love this stuff. Stone ruins. I mean, it's usually pretty obvious where the stone ruins are going to be. But let's say, you went over here, you built a base right here, and you're like, man, I don't have enough stone. And that opening quest says break 3 stone nodes down. Well, we all know that stone ruins are the absolute superior way to farm stone. In fact, I do everything in my power to not hit stone nodes always in every run that I ever do, because I just hate hitting stone, because I know that probably across the street somewhere from wherever I am, if it's not in my base, somewhere across the street or somewhere, there's going to be a ruin that's going to give me like twice as much stone. So it's nice to have something like this where, maybe you build a base here and you're like, oh man, I don't have enough stone. You can just hop down, run across the street, grab some stone. Yeah, so and then here's one of the other really big ones. In my opinion, this is a very, very big one, is it mineral nodes? Not mineral nodes. Where is it? Is it on here? Maybe it is mineral nodes. Ah, here it is. Gemstones. Maybe it's gemstones. I'm not sure if this is actually... Oh yeah, gemstone means. Okay. So here is another thing that's really big. Look at this. There's a huge chunk of gemstones that happen to grow here south of Niklaus. You may not have known that. A lot of times people, whenever this is just some of them. In fact, I actually know that there's usually some that grow up here in this area. I'm not sure if it's still the case, but it used to be the case anyway. A lot of them used to grow all in these areas. So, yeah, I know for a fact that a bunch grow in this area too. And again, I know it seems small because a lot of times, maybe you get lucky, you get the gems you need. But sometimes, say you're trying to get a merciless copper recipe early on, say you want to get a mace, and you just cannot find topaz to save your life. And you're saving your copper coins for forge floors. And you're like, dude, I don't want to spend, I think it's like 12 copper coins or something. I don't want to spend 12 copper coins, or 24 anyway, just to get my merciless copper mace. And what happens if you have a squad or a duo? You have to spend tons and tons of copper coins just to get your topaz. And yeah, okay, you could run around the map looking for them, and you will eventually find them. But wouldn't it be nice to just know, like, well, hey, maybe you have a base right here that I had to run. I have a base here currently. Wouldn't it be nice to know I could just run out the back of my base, just run across the road, and chances are I'll find 1 or 2 of these things just growing around here. And this is pretty off the beaten path. Like, most people aren't riding through this area. Maybe they're right up here, but not like through this area here. So you get the idea. So this is, I love this. Sulfur nodes. Let's look at sulfur nodes. Super nice. Oh, look, they're clustered and concentrated around here. And again, I'm not 100% sure how accurate every single one of these things are. But this can give you an idea of where you can look. So this is basically somebody reported, hey, look, one time I was over here and there was 3 sulfur veins just all over the place over here. Multiple sulfur veins in this area. Up here, next to Niklaus, there was more sulfur veins. So again, I'm beating a dead horse now, but you get what I'm saying. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. Also, if you just, like me, sometimes it's nice to be able to remember, like, where is that boss? I can't remember exactly where that boss spawns or that V-Blood spawns. Let's say I'm looking for, the glass blower. Okay, I know where that is now, but it's like, maybe I don't know where Domina is. Okay, she's over here. Oh, here's Angram here. Oh, Ziva's there. Oh, Henry Blackbeard. Cool. Okay, maybe I get confused. Where's the stupid frog? I can't remember. Oh, he's up at the top. Okay, that's right. So, anyway, well, there you go. Hopefully that is helpful to somebody. I love maps. I love looking at these maps. It's just one of my... I can literally just sit here and stare at this and just constantly try to absorb the knowledge, like by clicking off each of these things and saying, where do I get... Oh, yeah, where do I get silver ore? Like, this is obviously very wrong because there should be lots in there. But quartz, obviously there's quartz in the quartz quarry now. Yeah, anyway. So, again, bear with this map as it gets updated, because it will get updated as things go along. And eventually it gets to the point where, the entire map will probably look something like this. Like everywhere. So anyway, that is going to be it for now. So thank you for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.